First off, your daughter was more nervous for this interview than she was for anything that happened in the game. So you got to give her like a pep talk on handling interviews, because you're getting used to it now with all these wins you've been stacking up.
No, sir. I can get used to it, but I'm certainly not used to it, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's Chloe Jean. She's going to be nervous, especially when the spotlight's on her in this capacity. But I got to give her credit at knocking down a key foul shot there at the end for us and putting us ahead of 4. That 2 possession versus 1 changes a lot. And we were able to continue that zone in which we were in.
I thought one of the biggest turning points of this game when you were making that run is Maddie DeRiggi picked up her 4th foul. And it seemed like, at least for a few possessions, she had to really peel back how she plays defense, but your team found a way to keep Shaler off the scoreboard during that run, and then she was able to get a steal like she does, scored, and still stayed aggressive offensively. How do you kind of handle that, knowing that she's 1 away from disqualification, but you don't want to kind of take away what makes her so good?
Sean, I got to be so honest. I didn't know whether to pull her or keep her in, and man, I'm so glad that we kept her in that game, because we're not the team we are without Maddie DeRiggi. She's the catalyst, she's the captain, and she certainly made plays there at the end. A technique that we do against man-to-man against ball screens is a fire technique and trapping. And in doing so, we have to pinch behind, which left shooters open. And those shooters were splashing tonight for Shaler. My God, did they shoot the eyes out. So believe it or not, we went to a zone to take 3-point looks. That's completely opposite in philosophical basketball, right? So we went to that zone, and fortunately for us, we were able to contest those threes. Maddie was able to stay from keeping and getting her 5th foul. I didn't like the matchup against Perez with her quickness and skill set there up top. So we were able to keep Maddie in the game with the zone. We were able to contest threes with that zone, and fortunately we came out with the win.
Somewhat ironically, it was Perez who fouled out, as she was trying to get a couple of fouls late when they were obviously trying to send your team to the line. It might not have mattered, but the fact that they didn't have her very late seemed like it kind of took them out of their rhythm. But she was terrific all night. How do you try to defend a player like that? And then, as you mentioned, the shooters that she's able to get behind the arc as well.
Fantastic player. My hat goes off to her. Unfortunate she fouled out. But we're going to look at this game film time and time again, and we know we get them a second time over at their place. It's going to be extra hard, leaving our home court here. But there's so much basketball between now and then, and our thoughts after tonight. We can celebrate tonight, but our thoughts immediately shift to Plum Thursday. Tough team coming here at home.
Do you have a little extra motivation when you go against Plum? I mean, that's got to be an interesting dynamic for you, right?
Yes, sir. We were 0-4 before our win this year against Plum, my alma mater. Rich Mull does a great job, and I teach many of those girls as they come through the middle school, and as a middle school teacher there. I respect Plum, and it's always a game, and it's that backyard rival. So with that, as a coach, we want to take care of business, but it's going to be a game because Plum always makes it that way.
You've taken care of business against some of the upper echelon teams in this section at home. You mentioned you're obviously going to have to go to Shaler. You're going to go to Fox Chapel. But it feels like the win against the Foxes, and certainly here tonight, kind of statement victory saying that your team is for real. How big did this one feel to you?
I don't know if I heard that right. What did you? No, I'm just totally kidding. We're just here at Franklin Regional. Boy, we're as humble as they come. Those girls in those locker room have worked so hard for moments like this. To be a coach and a part of a group this special for us is something I'm extremely proud of. I can't wait to go in there and tell them to get out of here and go enjoy this win. But I guess the more you win, the more the next one matters, right? So all eyes on Plum.
Well, congrats, Bernie. Thanks so much for doing this, and go celebrate this one for the foreseeable future.
Thanks for coming.
All right, Bernie Pucka,